Yeah, man. You know, I feel like if you look at the Cowboys offense, it wasn't perfect, but I think that's how big games like kind of operate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're going to have some misses here, like a little slugfest type joint here or there. But the offense did kind of get his energy at some point. I think the defense never had a chance. They never had a chance of dealing with anything that the Lions rolled out against you. And look, man, I don't want to just take this time to beat up Flus because I think Flus gonna get a whole bunch of whooping moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you don't want to, huh?
I don't quite want to because I think I'm exhausted of it, and I think I've put in enough work of whooping Flus. I've been whooping Flus for a long time, and these past few weeks, you know, when people are kind of, well, Voch, you need to apologize to Flus. I don't.
I don't.
I do not. Y'all get a little quick on that draw, man. When y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, absolve Flus of all of his nonsense, man. Like, you know, I would imagine that if you take a regular good defense coordinator, right, that dude has the ability to run into certain adversities. Like, okay, all my corners may not be fantastic. For example, take a look at Robert Saleh for us. And I've been making this example, so pardon me if you heard me say it before, but we on TV. You don't know who's watching. Robert Saleh over there in San Francisco with Mac Jones throwing the football on the other side, with Fred Warner hurt, with Bosa hurt. He ain't got the interior guys that he's always had. The cornerback left and went to go play for some other team, I believe, and Hufanga went to go play for somebody else. All the key San Francisco gangsters is gone off that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But that defense still plays good football. So I go, damn, man, this show would be fire if I had a defense coordinator that can overcome some of that nonsense. I know we got an offensive play caller that can overcome CeeDee Lamb leaving the game. Okay, we'll get Flo involved. Okay, well, Nate Thomas is at left tackle. Back in the day, Tyron Smith get hurt, the offense go to crap. You know what I mean? We can still score points with Nate Thomas out there, right? There's people on the internet right now defending Eberflus saying, well, the corners aren't great. Well, Deron Bland ain't a terrible football player. Savon Relva ain't a terrible football player. Those two dudes do something well. They press man real well. So if you walk those dudes 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, sometimes 12 yards off the line of scrimmage, it ain't going to look nice. The Lions offensive line, they had 3 guys hurt, 3 guys missing. You know something I would have loved to have done? I would have loved to have done goofy little stuff to kind of mess with the insides of that stuff. Like most of their sacks, like they had 26 sacks coming into the game. 5 of them was their right guard Radlich not being able to turn very well. Man, I probably would have done some kind of stunt and switch. I ain't see a whole bunch of that. I just saw a whole bunch of, oh God, 5-man front, we get one-on-ones. Quentin saved me, Kenny saved me, Osa saved me. And I think the Lions did a great job of adjusting to that, and Flus had no answer to that. Flus had no answer of going away from press man. Just go back to press man because press man worked for like a series, and I feel like we never saw it again. Kenneth Murray is horrible. Somebody in that building is advocating for Kenneth Murray. I don't know who it is. The Jones is probably sitting back going, hey, man, we traded a pick. It was a 7th, but it was an acquisition to go get somebody better than him. You know what I'm saying? Why is Kenneth Murray on the field? I think somebody's advocating for Kenneth Murray. I think that's Flus. I don't have the evidence, but I think that's Flus. All the fingers are pointed at Flus. So, I'm not going to apologize to Flus. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, Flus, 2 good games when Quentin Williams got here, da-da-da, boo-boo-boo. The Cowboys' defense looked terrible last night. They looked as terrible as they looked a couple of weeks ago prior to acquiring Quentin Williams and Overshown and Logan Wilson and your safeties coming back. So, of course, I'm blaming it on Flus.
Yeah, I think I support that. I think I support blaming it on Flus because I think there's a lot of things, and I think we start with 2 disclaimers, 2 different disclaimers. So, 1, I'm going to shock everybody. I'm not qualified to be a defensive coordinator. I think that the offensive coaches of other teams are also going to do a good job of doing what we want our coaches to do, which is like hunting matchups. Mm-hmm. But the amount of times that you ended up in man-to-man coverage with guys who on their best day wouldn't have a chance to cover the guy they're guarding on that guy's day missing a leg. Like, how many times do I need to watch Marquise Bell chase Amon-Ra St. Brown across the field in man coverage?
That's crazy.
And, like, again, I am not qualified to do the drawing it up. But you can't let them get to that. Mm-hmm. You can't.
Well, here's the thing, and this is, I hate when y'all make this. This is not me caping for Eberflus.
Put the camera on me, please, John. On me and Jay. Go ahead.
This is not me. I'm not caping for him, but what I am saying is that you get to the point where Marquise Bell is chasing Amon-Ra or chasing Jameis Williams or something like that is because the guys that I depended on to win up front didn't win. And that's what normally because the routes that they're running these are developing routes. These aren't quick hitting routes. These aren't slants. These aren't hitches.
All the way across.
Right. These are long, deep developing routes. These are 12, 15, 18-yard routes that are happening. These aren't just one step, ball gets thrown down the sideline. These are routes where these guys are running up and over and getting from one hash to the next hash, and no one has gotten to Jared Goff. And can you pull the stat you just put back up there when he was clean and when he wasn't clean? We knew coming into this game that the way that you make this offense struggle is that you get after Jared Goff.
Sure.
Is that you have to go after him because when he's clean, the timing of these routes, the creativity of these routes, it is a timing offense. It's a timing passing game. And they do a great job hunting the matchup. That's why you saw Jahmyr Gibbs with how many?
But I mean, he's smoking Deron
77
Bland.
yards, right? Because he had time to work through these things. Like he was out there just putting up great numbers in the passing game. It's because those guys that we counted on for the last 3 weeks, and there were times where they were adding the fifth guy so they can get the one-on-one matchups, but they were combating that with going with the tackle eligible, add that 6 offensive linemen into the mix, and then really making you have to work through those things. The guys up front who needed to win up front, like they've been winning the last couple of weeks, didn't win. And so you were left on the back end saying, okay, yeah, now that we've passed guys through this, man or zone or whatever it is, he's had 3, 4, 5 seconds to pass that. And that's going to be tough for anybody. You needed the likes of Quinnen. You needed the likes of, now maybe, I don't know if Clowney matters that much in the grand scheme of things. I'm not having him out there to help create pressure, but you needed those other guys, Ezeraku and you needed Ezeraku, you needed Quinnen, you needed Osa, you needed Kenny Clark. You needed all those guys to play their part in this whole thing because the rush is tied to the coverage. The coverage is tied to the rush. If you're not getting to the quarterback and he has time, I don't give a damn who you got back there.
He ain't have time all game.
No, and the time that he didn't have time, he was throwing it in the dirt. He was overthrowing it. He was taking a sack. But the time that he did have it, you were getting gashed for 25-plus yard plays.
You think that was only pass rush, or you think that was because you could? I ain't gonna talk to you like that. You understand? You
talk to him however you want.
You can use coverage.
We can talk football. We can talk football.
I would love it if Flus would use his coverage ability sometime or just use the whoever the non-5 guys down or the non-whatever. I would love him to use some of those guys to kind of expedite some of that process, right? Or just like blitz better dudes. Like there's no reason to blitz ready and he's like the field slot guy with all that space. If you're going to blitz a corner, like blitz somebody, like blitz Donovan Wilson or something. I ain't seen Donovan Wilson be blitzed in weeks, months, right? But then there's the other point, right, with the big 20-yard cross and all this kind of stuff. Sure, and if Jared Goff does have time, those are 50-some-odd yard passes. You ain't wrong. But I would love it if you – I'm talking to Flus now. I would love it if you took your 2 press man corners, okay? And maybe Reddy's not a press man corner. Maybe that's why you're not doing it. But if that's the case, you need to sit down and let somebody else do it. Take your press man corners and let them press. I feel like when the Cowboys did press, I feel like the timing got messed up. Like you said, they are a timing-based offense. Jeff, this is where I actually disagree with you because you say that we're not qualified to be defense coordinators. Look, we probably ain't the best 32 defense coordinators, but we got eyes.
Might be better than him.
We got eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm better than Flus, man. I ain't saying that neither, dog. But if you are dealing with a timing-based offense and they are whooping you with timing-based route combos, dog, then you need to disrupt the time. Yeah. Disrupt the time. You know what they do to Dak when he do a whole bunch of that? They get their hands up and bat balls down.
Yep.
and then they buy their guys on the back end time.
Yep.
Then they do something different on the back end to give their pass rush a little more time to get there. We don't play complimentary football, and I don't think Flus has that in him.